The original PlayStation is known for its beloved RPGs and was for most of us a great introduction to anime. Today we're going to decide which of these anime openings is the best. We all know that Chrono Cross has one of the better intros on the PS1. It has all the tropes of an excellent opening. The build-up of the story, shows all important characters, world building, events, and awesome music that synchronizes perfectly with all that's happening on screen. I'm sure I can speak for many of us before you loaded your save file that you occasionally watch this intro to get into the right vibe. Even though this is probably the best out there, it's not allowed on the list. But it's a great reference to show who's boss. Oh, and by the way, even games such as Lunar have a great opening. It's an action adventure game, not an RPG. Static art openings like Suikoden or Grandia are not allowed. Although try not to, I'm biased, so in this case I'll add a game completion counter for you to judge my approach. So let's start with Tales of Destiny. The plot is about Stan who finds a sentient sword and together with similar weapon wielders need to stop a dangerous ancient relic. The animation introduces the characters with a good amount of action scenes. In addition, it shows world building and some of the events that happen in the game. The only thing that I personally don't like is the music type. It's too calm. It sounds more like an ending theme of an anime. This aside, it's well put together overall. I will give it still a day. Jade Cocoon's story starts with a young man named Levant who wants to follow his father's footsteps to become a cocoon master. Someone who captures and purifies minions. As a kid, I was really impressed by the opening. Looking back at it now, however, I'm more skeptical. After an introduction on the backlore, the animation shows the protagonist, who's drawn in Studio Ghibli style, fighting some monsters. That's it. When I watch this, I think, what just happened? The music isn't memorable and I'm not intrigued to watch it again. But it's not crap or something, just as a kid things looked cooler than they were. So in this case it's a bit of a bummer. Now let's check out one of the best games on the PS1, Xenogears. A game about the protagonist VIII, who steps up to fight the mysterious corrupt system that controls the planet and forces people to live in slavery. So it opens with an event about the spaceship that is going to be destroyed, and there's nothing more to it. Honestly, it feels a bit weird putting it on the list, because it's not a traditional feel good let's go start this awesome game opening like the rest. I mean, where's the protagonist? Why should I care about these people? What's going on? On one hand, it can be fine to put an animation on this format. On the other hand, they could have done a better job at this, even if they chose a specific event. More on this later with an example. Besides this, it does function as an introduction. There's a sequence of events with a voiceover on top, while a good soundtrack plays in the background. Aside that I'm not a personal fan, I'll put it an A. I'm not picking a fight here, the game was great, just judging the opening animation. Persona 2 is about a group of high schoolers that confront a villainous figure known as Joker, who's spreading reality warping rumors throughout the city. Let's just say this opening is different, way different. On first glance it shows well crafted fast edits, which seems random, yet does match with the in-game events. At least that's what I've been told. That said, the synchronized music, the style and presentations are exactly what Persona fans are looking for. And even as an outsider on the franchise, this confusing pseudo-reality is kind of what I think the series is all about. Therefore I give it at least an S and leave it up to you to decide if it's right up there with the best. Wild Arms has a western theme and is all about world building, with archaeologists discovering ancient technology that resemble our own industrial revolution. The music is one of the best on the list, straight god level to be honest. It vibes well with this western setting, however the animation just doesn't cut it. You mainly see the close-up of the three main characters, with the protagonist climbing a cliff. That's cool and all, but it's just not enough to put in G or S. I mean, where's the rest of this world? I would say A, because it does carry good vibe. Check Alto Code F if you want to experience the opening how it should have been. So now you might wonder, what is Star Ocean and Lane of Mana doing here? Well, because these are PS1 games that got a re-release with an anime opening, I think it's just cool to put them on the list as well. So Lane of Mana is a game that follows a hero who needs to restore the world, mana and regrow the mana tree that was burned down centuries ago. The opening starts with this slow build-up in music and works its melody to a climax in a really elegant way. It shows all important characters and tries to emphasize that you have many worlds to explore. This opening is just what the game is all about. Even though I'm a big fan, I love the OST and I might have given this a god status as a kid, I still think there's missing something in this animation. Maybe it needs more action or could have benefited from sound effects. I can't pinpoint exactly, however it's still an S. The remake of Star Ocean 2, Second Evolution, is about a well-developed space civilization that breaks the universal law of getting into contact with the undeveloped alien planet. This game has two openings, with the first one starting off gentle, showing all characters and picks up the pace as it continues into the action scenes. In a general sense, it shows the liveliness of the characters. I think this opening is fine. Personally, it doesn't really move me to play the game though. The second opening has the same music, is shorter, but shows more of the character's struggles and events in a nice pace. If I had to judge, I would say both intros are solid, with preference to the second. In this case I would say an A. Good, but not great. Wild Arms 2 has a plot that follows an international anti-terrorist organization called ARMS, who wants to stop a terrorist group from conquering the world. In all fairness, this opening has good music, giving the western vibe. Moreover, it shows characters, worlds and events during the protagonist's journey as he walks through the desert, which gives us a gist of what is about to happen. However, there is one major flaw. They made it too slow. Not the music, the animations. Some sequences take 10 seconds. In this case, I'm sure if they shortened it, it was way better and impactful. This one drops down to B and could have easily been A. Breath of Fire 4 is a game about a dragon that has split in two human-like forms, who both need to reconcile the judgment of humanity. The animation immediately sets the stage of showing mythical creatures and the protagonist is adventures through these lands. Almost all important characters shown and the action scenes contain sound effects. Furthermore, we hear both Nina and Ryu talking, with the latter being officially a silent protagonist, and I think this adds to the experience. The music really fits the game's narration and theme. In my personal opinion, this one is up there with Chrono Cross, because I watched this animation a lot as a kid before playing. But I know this is highly biased, and I think they could have improved this by showing more of the remaining heroes. That said, I give it an S because it's just that good. Tales of Eternia's story revolves around interaction between two planets with different cultures, technologies and ideology. It starts great with the protagonist opening his eyes and the music joining in. However, it quickly falls into the same tropes as Wild Arms 2. Some of the scenes just take like 10 seconds or more. The music is upbeat but not that energizing. And although some of the editing is well done, with cool action scene and angles, without any form of events or world building, is to me a mystery what's it all about. And maybe that's its charm and this can be quite effective. I personally found this particular approach a bit boring. Thousand Arms is a game about a young blacksmith that wants to increase his weapon's strength by fighting the 5 sacred flames. While it does try to uplift your spirit by floating over the land with the heroes crossing the screen that embark on this journey, it looks more like an ending theme somehow. Also, most of it is just CGI background and very little character animation. With a bit more effort, it could have been an A. Grandstream Saga is a game about the protagonist in search for an orb that lifts up the land to reform all the continents. While I like the idea of this character introduction in the backlore of the world, the music is the worst on the list. Truth to be told, if they have put this quality of animation into something more thrilling than saving a set of birds, this would have been way more competent. This one gets a C. Valkyrie Profile is based on Norse mythology with their gods in conflict and Ragnarok luring above their heads. This intro starts off by presenting its characters and action scenes with a bit of drama in between. Furthermore, the music is upbeat and the whole animation tries to integrate itself with the begin, middle and ending. That said, the animation feels a bit underwhelming for most of it. At least it feels disconnected somehow, but I'm sure that's just me. Plus I never played the game, so it's a bit hard for me to figure out what story elements are portrayed in this opening. Personally I will give it a B, but that's just biased talk, so I'll give it an A. Tales of Phantasia is my favorite Tales game. The story revolves around stopping an otherworldly wizard that tries to save his own planet. First things first, the music sounds like something used for a school life anime, and not a fancy role-playing game. That said, it has a decent pace which presents all characters on the beat. Moreover, it shows dramatic shots of the hero's journey with a couple of action scenes here and there. Some of the places are recognizable, even considering that I played it more than 15 years ago. Besides the poor music choice, this opening is well put together, so I give it an A. Lunar Silver Star story is about a young man who's on his quest to become a dragon master, and to do so he has to find all 4 great dragons. So the opening is a bit slow at the beginning, but makes up for itself near the end, showing the protagonist, events and some of the world. The music is in my opinion a bit too mellow. Nonetheless, it has this feel-good spirit that resonates with the blue sky and happy characters. Personally, I don't really know what to make of it. However, I think this game had a light-hearted theme, and this opening fits well, so I give it an A. I saved the best for last, Chrono Trigger. The story is about a group of heroes from different timelines that want to save their world from a parasitic alien known as Lavos. This animation has it all. Awesome music that is synchronized with the scenes, sound effects during action, world building, character introduction, important events, you name it. No debate, this is the best anime opening on the list, and of course having the status of being the best overall RPG to date. Does this opening want you to make to play the game again after you've beaten it? Well, I think it does. Pretty sure most of us would ask for an anime adaptation in this style. Actually, I think it's between the S and G class, near the edge of godlike level, so to say. Nevertheless, I learned to round up, so I'll put it in G. Now you might wonder what type of intro is near Chrono Cross level. Well, Final Fantasy VII has an unskippable intro, and it's perfect. It gives me chills every time I see the bird's eye view of Midgar, with the logo and music climax. And I know I'm not the only one. It's no coincidence they used this opening in their PS3 tech demo and for the Final Fantasy VII remake teaser. It's short, sweet, and gets you pumped up, ready to kick ass by taking on the bombing mission. This is by the way how Xenogears could have posed their intro as well. And then you might think, yeah, but what about non-specific intros? That's an easy one. Final Fantasy VIII. Do I need to say more? This intro pulls you right into the scene and shows all important events and characters, while Squall and Cypher have their historical duel that got them their iconic scars. It's a story within an opening movie, and I'm sure that this intro alone sold copies in stores when they were on display. These type of intros cast a spell on you every time so that you revisit true nostalgia. Music is maybe the biggest part of a good intro, next to how the flow of the scenes are represented, and less important is what actually happens in the scene itself. So yeah, looking at the list, was I biased? Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I do wonder how you guys would rate them. I'm fancy light novel author GP Films, and all I want to say, openings, intros from games, or even anime just get down to, do they move you enough so that you want to revisit them? If so, the opening is good enough for you. If you enjoy art, you might want to check out my Chrono Trigger art analysis, or my PS2 RPG anime opening tier list.